What kind of place feels older than time, but keeps reinventing itself with every gust of wind? In the American Southwest, the earth is not silent. It creaks, breathes, and sings in ancient tones. Here, deserts are not voids. They are cathedrals of silence where the rocks hold conversations in heat and shadow. Canyons don't just split the land, they reveal it, layer by layer, like peeling open the memory of the planet. You arrive expecting sand and sun, but stay for the myths carved into stone and the whispers of firelight ceremonies. Red rock towers in Arizona glow like they've been lit from within, especially at sunrise, when even the wind holds its breath. New Mexico feels painted, not built. Every adobe house, every turquoise window frame seems part of a long-forgotten mural. People here don't walk quickly. They move with purpose, as if respecting something deeper beneath their feet. In Pueblo communities, the spiral of time is alive. Children learn dances that echo droughts, harvests, and stars. Along sacred mesas, ceremonies unfold not for tourists, but for the sky, and it listens. You can taste the land in a single bite of green chili stew, or hear it in the soft clack of a weaver's loom under a cottonwood tree. In this region, stories are not always told. Sometimes they're danced, painted, or worn on a blanket dyed with cochineal red. Markets burst with Navajo silver, Hopi pottery, and O'odham baskets, each one carrying generations in its weave. The past lives openly here, in roadside shrines, in mission ruins, and in Spanish words that cling to the desert air. But don't let the history fool you. The Southwest is constantly shifting. One minute you're standing in a 1,000-year-old cliff dwelling, and the next, in a neon-lit art gallery in Santa Fe. Cowboys still ride, yes, but so do cyclists, mystics, tech workers, and storytellers. In Marfa, Texas, minimalist sculptures sit quietly while mysterious lights dance on the horizon, defying explanation. And out near Monument Valley, shadows move like spirits across red sand, blurring the line between legend and landscape. This land teaches patience. It makes you stop, stare, and wonder what you've forgotten to feel. Every landscape feels like a paradox. The Sonoran Desert, filled with thorns and fire, still cradles life in every corner. Saguaro cacti raise their arms like ancient priests, and bats hum quietly through twilight skies. Utah's arches look too delicate to be real, like the wind kissed the rock and left it hollowed by awe. The Great Salt Lake shimmers like a silver mirage, both beautiful and haunting in its retreat. Even the light here feels different, harsh at noon, golden by dusk, and surreal under the stars. And when night falls, constellations emerge like old friends, clearer than anywhere else in America. It's no surprise that space exploration, mysticism, and folklore flourish under these skies. People here believe in things, in ancestors, in omens, in UFOs, in justice, in freedom. Faith comes in many forms: Catholic candles, peyote rituals, Mormon hymns, and powwow drums. Despite centuries of conflict, this is a place where survival and culture are woven together like a desert tapestry. Southwest hospitality is warm like the sun and slow like molasses. Strangers become neighbors, and neighbors become family, especially when the monsoon rains arrive and everyone runs for shelter. And through it all, the land listens, absorbs, and endures, carrying the memories of its people like sacred seeds in sand. Rising abruptly from the desert floor, Shiprock doesn't resemble a mountain. It resembles a memory turned to stone. To the Navajo, it is Sebitai, the rock with wings, a sacred remnant of a great bird that once carried their ancestors to safety. Its jagged spire pierces the sky like a frozen bolt of lightning, a monument not built, but summoned. Wind circles its base with reverence, as if whispering prayers too old to be translated. Geologically, it is a volcanic neck, but no scientific label can explain the awe it commands. You cannot climb it. Tribal law forbids it, not out of fear, and out of respect for the spirit it still shelters. As the light moves across the plain, shadows stretch from its base like the remnants of wings once spread. Photographs cannot capture its gravity. The closer you get, the quieter you become. Surrounded by flatness, it stands alone, not lonely, but deliberate, as if the earth chose to make a single exclamation. Shiprock is not merely a landmark, it is a presence, a sentinel of stories, and a heartbeat of the sacred desert. From above, Lake Powell looks like veins of turquoise carved into a world of rust and ochre. It stretches like a liquid labyrinth, snaking through canyons that were once dry and silent. Born not from nature alone, but from human ambition, it is the result of Glen Canyon's drowning, an act still debated by memory and stone. Yet for all its controversy, Lake Powell gleams with an almost defiant beauty. Its waters mirror sculpted sandstone walls, blurring the line between reflection and reality. Every cove feels secret. Every turn in the canyon reveals another hidden cathedral of rock and silence. Boats seem to float between worlds, above the flood and beneath the weight of deep time. You don't simply visit Lake Powell, you weave through it, becoming part of its winding tale. The lake holds over 2,000 miles of shoreline, more than the entire west coast of the United States. Inlets disappear into the earth, forming echo chambers where sound becomes as important as sight. Kayaks glide past hoodoos and arches, through slot canyons too narrow for sunlight to fully claim. Here, water becomes a sculptor's apprentice, softening the edges of a desert too ancient to fight back. The red rock walls burn in the midday heat, then cool into violet shadows as twilight folds in. Under moonlight, the lake becomes silver ink, writing poems in silence across the canyons. Above it all, cliffs rise like watchmen, guarding secrets older than any dam or reservoir. This is where geology collides with mythology, where time feels less like a line and more like a spiral. The lake, though artificial, feels eerily organic, as though the earth allowed it in out of curiosity. Houseboats float like nomadic islands, anchoring only long enough for the wind to change its mind. Children leap from red cliffs into blue depths, unaware that beneath them lies a buried Eden. Winds echo through the flooded canyons, carrying the voices of those who once called this place home. Many forget that beneath these waters are ancestral pueblo in ruins, now lost to the reservoir's hunger. What was once Glen Canyon is now a mosaic of memory, water, and engineered destiny. Lake Powell is neither entirely natural nor wholly man-made. It is a collaboration, tense and beautiful. Drought threatens its height, politics shape its future, yet its present remains defiantly magical. Each summer brings pilgrims, hikers, swimmers, stargazers, all searching for something elemental. The lake doesn't promise answers, only a vastness that invites better questions. No shoreline is straight, each bend is a metaphor, each bay a stanza waiting to be read. Sunsets paint the cliffs in molten gold, a brief reminder that beauty often comes with cost. In this desert, water feels like illusion, too vivid, too cool, too fragile to be real. Yet there it is, stretching toward Arizona, cradling Utah's border, shimmering under the vast four-corner sky. Clouds drift lazily above, mirrored so perfectly that the sky seems to swim beneath you. Photographers arrive before dawn, hoping to catch that exact second when stillness becomes spectacle. The lake is a contradiction, recreation layered atop cultural loss, fun laid over fossils. Yet few can deny the thrill of drifting through Antelope Canyon by water, where walls rise like stained glass. It is a playground for some, a scar for others, but a marvel for nearly all who witness it. Campfires crackle on distant shores, their flickers competing with stars that feel almost within reach. Lake Powell may not have been born naturally, but it lives, breathes, and reflects with unmistakable soul. In the heart of the desert, this flooded canyon dares to dream, a blue serpent curled in red dust, always waiting to be rediscovered. Some landscapes are painted by water, others by time, but here, the two work together in silence for millions of years. Horseshoe Bend isn't just a curve in the Colorado River. It's a perfect coil of nature's geometry, both elegant and overwhelming. Standing at the edge, you're not merely looking down, you're staring into the patience of erosion, the poetry of stone shaped by persistence. From above, the river seems to hesitate, pausing in a broad horseshoe sweep before continuing its relentless journey west. The sandstone cliffs glow with fire in the late afternoon light, as though the earth itself is remembering something ancient. Vertigo meets reverence here. One misstep from the rim, and you're reminded just how small you truly are. This natural amphitheater doesn't echo sound. It reflects time, holding on to every grain of sand that once traveled through wind. Photographers chase the perfect hour, when shadows wrap the curve like a ribbon drawn by the sun itself. No guardrails, no signs, just raw edge and the hush of visitors realizing that words don't belong here. The Colorado River gleams jade and sapphire, cutting through rock like ink through parchment. Each layer of stone in the canyon wall is a page in a book older than human memory. Legends whisper that spirits of the land still dwell here, circling the bend with the wind at twilight. From sunrise to starlight, the palette changes constantly, gold to amber, rust to deep violet. Some call it a tourist site, but it feels more like a sacred pause in the Earth's storytelling. Desert plants cling to cliff edges, reminders that life always finds a foothold, even in silence. The view demands stillness, not for safety, but for respect. It's less a lookout, more a meditation. As the river bends, so does your perception. Suddenly, the desert doesn't seem so barren anymore. Horseshoe Bend draws you not with sound or movement, but with gravity, mystery, and visual awe. The land here doesn't shout. It hums, deep and steady, beneath your boots. And as you leave, the memory doesn't fade. It lingers like a curved horizon branded on your imagination. Zion doesn't announce itself with noise. It envelops you in silence, sculpted by wind and time. As you enter the canyon, sandstone walls rise like cathedrals, chiseled by ancient rivers and whispered prayers. This isn't merely a park, it's a sanctuary where geology and spirit intertwine. Every trail begins as a path and ends as a revelation. The Virgin River carves through the gorge like a ribbon of memory, shaping stone and soul alike. Light falls through canyon cracks like divine punctuation, marking each crevice with gold. In the narrows, water and stone converse in murmurs, forcing you to wade between past and present. Angel's Landing rises not just in altitude, but in reputation, a summit where courage meets sky. Each switchback reveals a new truth about fear, about grit, about the vastness of the world beneath your feet. The colors here shift with emotion: morning blush, midday flame, twilight ember. Petroglyphs hidden in alcoves speak of those who walked here before you, barefoot but not forgotten. You don't hike Zion, Zion pulls you inward. Spring water oozes from cliff sides, nourishing hanging gardens that bloom in impossible places. Wildlife doesn't perform here. It watches, waiting for you to understand your role. Desert bighorns scale vertical walls with ease, as if gravity forgot them. At dawn, mist curls through the canyons like breath over prayer stones. From above, the canyon resembles a painter's brushstroke across the canvas of the earth. This land remembers everything, every flood, every footstep, every fire. Towering monoliths like the Watchman and the Great White Throne wear erosion like armor. Even shadows here seem deliberate, cast with the weight of myth. Zion doesn't just reward endurance, it transforms it into awe. Waterfalls spill from impossible heights, vanishing before they touch the canyon floor. You'll find solitude not in absence, but in presence, of stone, of sky, of story. In Antelope Canyons, the red cliffs burn deeper, untouched and unconcerned with fame. Sunlight crawls over ridges like a pilgrim seeking holy ground. Every canyon bend feels choreographed, each viewpoint a theater of the sublime. Even the air tastes different, drier, clearer, tinged with sage and possibility. This is where time slows down, not because of fatigue, but reverence. Hikers become part of the landscape here, temporary brushstrokes on an eternal mural. Paths like Hidden Canyon lead not just into wilderness, but into wonder. Mule deer emerge at dusk like ghosts, soft-eyed and steady. In Zion, even the smallest things, lizard tracks, a leaf's shadow, feel significant. Some return for the adrenaline, others for the quiet. All leave changed. There are places where you feel large. This is not one of them. Zion redefines the word wild, not as chaos, but as something deeply ordered and unknowable. Clouds roll in like storytellers, casting mood over mesa and cliff. Here, the land doesn't speak. It sings, low and ancient, in a language your bones remember. And when you finally turn to leave, you don't just exit a park, you step away from a sacred conversation. You don't walk into Antelope Canyon, you slip into a dream carved by water and sealed in silence. At first glance, the entrance appears unremarkable, a slit in the earth, but within, a cathedral of light awaits. Each step downward feels like a descent into another dimension, where stone flows like liquid. Walls undulate like waves frozen mid-motion, curling with the memory of floods that shaped them. Navajo guides tell stories not with voices alone, but with shadows, angles, and the reverent hush of the canyon itself. Here, sunlight is not just illumination, it's an artist, painting beams that seem to hang in midair. Time becomes irrelevant inside. The clock obeys the shifting slits of sky above. Every curve in the rock holds its own secret, some shaped like flames, others like wings in flight. Photographers chase the perfect beam of light, but the canyon never repeats itself. Color pulses from the walls, ochre, crimson, lavender, dancing with each breath of dust. You follow narrow passageways that twist like serpents, narrowing so tight you can feel the stone's breath. The silence here is thick, not empty. It's the echo of centuries compressed into sandstone. Rain rarely falls, but when it does, it arrives with a vengeance, reminding all of water's power to sculpt. Upper Antelope greets the sky. Lower Antelope plunges deeper, tighter, darker. Each chamber feels like a chamber of the Earth's heart, pulsing softly with warmth and history. Textures swirl above your head, smoother than silk, yet shaped by violence. Some passages glow orange at noon, others shift to violet as the sun lowers. It's hard to believe rock can feel so fluid, so alive under your fingertips. Wind no longer moves the stone, but it still lingers, whispering through cracks like an ancient language. The canyon doesn't open up. It pulls you in, guides you through a labyrinth shaped by time. Patterns on the walls resemble feathers, wings, even faces, depending on your imagination's tilt. But Antelope Canyon lingers behind your eyes, like a vision you can't quite wake from. From miles away, it rises without warning, a solitary monolith cleaving the Wyoming sky. Devil's Tower does not blend into the landscape. It dominates it, like an ancient sentinel guarding secrets of the Earth's crust. Its walls appear chiseled by gods or giants, straight-edged and towering beyond comprehension. To scientists, it's a volcanic intrusion exposed by erosion, but no textbook explains the awe it inspires. To the Lakota, Cheyenne, and Kiowa, it is not just a rock, it is a sacred place, alive with stories older than the stars. Some say it was born when 7 sisters escaped a giant bear who clawed the sides of the tower in pursuit. The vertical columns do resemble claw marks, deep, deliberate, and perfectly aligned. Its summit, flat and unreachable, is wrapped in wind, legend, and the gaze of eagles. Climbers scale its columns today, but long before ropes and chalk, this place was already a spiritual ascent. Every year, prayer bundles and tobacco ties flutter from nearby trees, a quiet reminder of ongoing reverence. The rock glows differently with each hour, gray at dawn, amber by noon, and violet beneath stormlight. Geologically, it stands alone, not part of any mountain range, not shaped by glacial forces. It doesn't belong to any one culture, yet every culture that encounters it is compelled to explain it. The name Devil's Tower emerged from mistranslation, yet the true names, Bear Lodge, Tree Rock, still carry meaning. Surrounding fields rolled gently, as if bowing to the tower's presence. Silence here feels thick, like the air is holding its breath. At sunrise, shadows pour down its sides like black water, vanishing as light climbs its face. You don't stumble upon the painted desert, you arrive, stunned, as if stepping into a dream painted by Earth itself. This isn't just land, it's an open-air canvas, streaked in ochre, rose, lavender, and ash gray. With every sunrise, the rocks change hue, as if the desert is deciding which story to tell today. Formed by time, wind, and silence, these layered hills speak of epochs long buried beneath our feet. The soil here is ancient, older than memory, older than myth, yet it feels fresh with every gust of wind. Wandering these badlands, you feel both enormous and invisible, as if the land is watching you more than you see it. Some ridges rise like frozen waves, others curl like sleeping giants beneath the sands. Geologists see clay, shale, and volcanic ash, but the traveler sees flame, twilight, and dreams. In this surreal expanse, even the air seems quieter, respectful of the desert's solemn palette. The colors are not loud, they whisper in soft gradients, pulling your gaze across slow-burning horizons. Fossils lie buried here, reptiles, fern, and time itself, preserved like secrets not yet ready to be revealed. Long before maps or borders, this was a place of passage, painted not by man, but by ancient seas and long-gone storms. You don't look at the painted desert, you listen to it, the way one listens to music too complex to hum. As cloud shadows drift across the terrain, the landscape appears to breathe, shift, and sigh. No two visits are ever the same. Light alone reshapes its mood every minute. Ravens circle above, casting fleeting silhouettes over the ever-changing earth below. Footsteps feel delicate here, as though each step might awaken something sleeping just beneath the dust. When the wind rises, it carries not just sand, but fragments of color, turning the air to watercolor. Photographs flatten its depth. The naked eye alone can trace the rhythms in its layers. To walk here is to walk through painted silence, where geology and poetry meet. This land tells a story not in words, but in pigments, erosion, and stillness. Even the sky seems to lean lower, drawn in by the spectacle unfolding at its feet. Every hill is an echo, every valley a line breaking a poem millions of years long. You can't hurry through the painted desert. It slows time, distills thought, and demands attention. And when you leave, some color stays with you, not on your shoes, but behind your eyes. In the southwest, land speaks in silence, a silence broken by red winds, coyote howls, and ancestral drums echoing off canyon walls. Here, stories are written in stone, on cliff dwellings and petroglyphs that catch the light just before dusk. You You pass through deserts painted by fire, through towns too small for maps but too alive to forget. But the horizon does not end here. Follow the sun as it slides toward the edge of the continent. And the silence gives way to the rhythm of waves and foghorns. Mountains rise again, this time green, cloaked in pines and mystery, facing an ocean that reflects stars and satellites alike. This is the West Coast, where land meets sea and the past collides with what's next. Where redwoods whisper secrets older than empires, and cities sparkle with dreams made of light. The spirit of the Southwest doesn't vanish. It travels, reshaped by ocean mist and coastal wind. Becoming something new beneath California skies. In the Southwest, land speaks in silence. A silence broken by red winds, coyote howls, and ancestral drums echoing off canyon walls. Here, stories are written in stone, on cliff dwellings and petroglyphs that catch the light just before dusk. You pass through deserts painted by fire, through towns too small for maps but too alive to forget. But the horizon does not end here. Follow the sun as it slides toward the edge of the continent. And the silence gives way to the rhythm of waves and foghorns. Mountains rise again, this time green, cloaked in pines and mystery, facing an ocean that reflects stars and satellites alike. This is the West Coast. Where land meets sea and the past collides with what's next. Where redwoods whisper secrets older than empires, and cities sparkle with dreams made of light. The spirit of the Southwest doesn't vanish. It travels, reshaped by ocean mist and coastal wind. Becoming something new beneath California skies.